My name's Nehali Anupriya. I studied politics and international relations at Exeter's Penryn campus. I graduated in 2017, and I now work at the United Nations on disaster risk reduction in New York, which is where we are.
How did you find the Penryn campus?
The Penryn campus, it kind of felt like what I imagine a liberal arts university in America feels like. A really small campus in a beautiful part of the country with a really close community. Because of the size, you also got to make relationships with people across your years, across courses. You weren't just always with people that were in your class studying the same thing as you.
I'm a big fan of campus life for exactly that reason. I think having that opportunity to have meeting places in one central area without missioning across town is a huge selling point for any university. So did you find that the professors were very supportive of your academic journey?
The support that at least I got from some of my professors wasn't just about me academically, but also kind of forming me as a human. You're 17, 18, in your early 20s, you're still kind of figuring out how you think about the world, how you engage with it. To be able to have people that are really invested in that journey with you is really special. I don't take it for granted that my seminars in first year were about 15 students, and by the time I got to third year, like 5 or 6 students in a seminar class. You know, your professors knew you. They knew your opinions, and they knew what you were good at and maybe not so good at. And there are also people that I feel like are really invested in what I'm doing, even now, 6 years later. So yeah, definitely very supportive.
Did your thesis and your studies directly impact the job opportunities that you got later down the line?
I had quite a strong idea of what I wanted to do, and my professors were my biggest cheerleaders along the way. What I was researching in my dissertation is basically has driven what I do for a job now. I work with governments from around the world to build better disaster preparedness policies and regulations around like resilient infrastructure and early warnings and preparedness. My undergrad dissertation was looking at the disaster relief process after a tropical cyclone that hit Fiji, which is where I'm from. That experience of doing that dissertation really solidified this question for me of, you know, what's the most important thing that I could be doing with my time and my energy, and it's that, and I'm so lucky to be able to be doing that every day now.
Did the academic course sometimes take you off campus?
Yeah, so there was actually an annual field trip to New York for the politics and international relations. And funnily enough, that was actually the first time I went into the UN. And it's really surreal to think I now work there every day. I still have the selfie that I took when I was in the Security Council building on that field trip. To have such a strong link from like what I was studying 6 years ago to then the work that I did early on in my career, and now to be, you know, doing this at the global scale is it's a relatively straight line for me, and I don't think that always happens for folks. I feel very lucky to have had that as well.
It sounds like the foundations for your career were very much laid at Exeter University.
Yeah, absolutely, in so many ways.
And now you're working at the UN in New York. Is that the dream job?
It definitely felt like that when I first joined. I remember when I first got my UN.org email address, and like the first email I sent at 9:01 a.m. on my first day of work was to my parents saying, you know, if you need to contact me, here's the official address.
It's so funny you say that about your email address, but I had the exact same feeling when I graduated and got a bbc.co.uk email address. It always felt exciting to have the privilege of that organisation trusting you.
Absolutely.
If somebody was at the beginning of their academic journey thinking about further education, would you recommend the University of Exeter? Would you say it was a stepping stone for an exciting career?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the beauties of having that small campus life is that it could become what you wanted it to become. So I look across the breadth of my class, and you have people doing everything from like being at the UN, some people are in finance, some people are like lawyers. One of my best friends is a florist and is loving her life and is probably much happier than the rest of us put together. Yeah, it really is. It was a wonderful experience.
And now you're well placed here in New York to make change in the world.
I hope
Plan
so.
to stay here for the foreseeable?
I go where the wind takes me and where work takes me. I think one of the many perks of being in international development and at the UN is that it's kind of baked into my career that I will move around a bit. So yeah, I'll see where I end up next. But for now, New York is home.
How exciting. So many possibilities out there. Well, thank you for sharing your story and your journey with us. It's been fascinating to hear.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.